If you're a Caribbean woman founder or a Caribbean woman leader in business today, I am speaking directly to you. Last week, I asked the question, why don't we speak up for ourselves, our businesses, and for the impact that we want to see? And today, I am answering that question from my personal experience as a Caribbean woman founder and leader, and also from my experiences working with or interacting with other Caribbean women founders and leaders in business. But before I do that, I want to invite you to share your experience and your insights. Take the workplace voice and visibility survey that's currently ongoing. It's one that I constructed. There are only 4 questions to answer. It's completely anonymous and it takes you 3 minutes or less. So let me hear what you have to say on this matter of speaking up for yourself, your business, and the impact that you want to make. And now let's get into this episode. Is it possible to build a high impact business without sacrificing your well being? The Island Woman podcast is the companion to Caribbean founders and leaders who are replacing hustle with authority. Hi, I'm Dianne Squires, aka Dianne, an island woman and founder of Dianne Squires Consulting. Let's explore how to sharpen your voice, target your visibility, and maximize your economic impact all through the lens of a big and simple life. Welcome to the Island Woman podcast. All right, so today I'm going to share 5 reasons why I think we don't speak up for ourselves, our businesses, and the impact that we want to make. And this is from my experience, whether me personally or those other women that I've worked with, as I said before. So I have my handy notebook again today, and we're getting into the first reason, which is we wait for permission. I don't know about you, but this one I think really comes from my strong upbringing here in Barbados, which taught me to be polite, which taught me to respect authority, and which said, speak when you're spoken to. That's, of course, something that you learn when you are very young. And I think it is incredibly important for young people to be respectful to their elders and to those people in authority. But guess what? We've grown up and we've now become the authority. We now have expertise in our areas. We are now the authorities. And if we wait for permission to speak or speak up, we may never get it. And the people who take the initiative to speak up and speak out are those people whose ideas and opinions are going to be heard. And sometimes over and over again, right, wrong, or in between. So what do we do instead? We give ourselves the permission to speak up. We acknowledge that we are now the authority. We now know and have learned many lessons. We have trained and we have worked and we have built up expertise over our years and years of experience. And so we need to give ourselves the permission to speak up and speak out. Number 2, this one, we question if we are ready yet. Do we have the years and years of experience to be able to speak with authority on this subject? Do we have the track record? Do we have all our ducks in a row that we can say that we are truly ready to say something about this specific area? Whatever it is that you could speak up about, but you're not. But this is the thing. We can speak from the experience that we have. We can speak from the lessons that we have learned. We have to remember that everyone is on a learning curve. No matter who they are, how expert they may be, they are still on a learning curve. And you are on your own learning curve. And there's some people behind you who don't yet know what you know. There's some people behind you who have not learned the lessons that you have already learned. And so you have to give value. This is something that I've learned. You have to give value to what you've learned, to the lessons that you have, to the insights that you can share, and certainly to the expertise that you've already gained. And speak from where you are right now. So you're ready. You are ready right now to speak from where you are right now. Number 3, we don't want to be wrong. Who wants to be wrong? We are terrified of being wrong. We're terrified of taking the blame if something that we say is actually wrong. And I get it. That can be embarrassing. It could possibly be detrimental. But I want us to reframe it again. Remember that no matter who, we can all be wrong. No matter what grand title we have, no matter how much we have done so far, we can all be wrong. And so this is how to reframe it. Think like a scientist would think. Formulate your hypothesis. Okay, you don't want to be wrong. Formulate a hypothesis and then prove it right or wrong. So present your hypothesis. This is where we are now. This is what I think we should do to solve this problem. I have a hypothesis about this. Let's test it. And let's test it by doing these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how many ever things. Let's do this. Let's run this test and see. Now, people know that you're not saying outright that your solution is the right one, but you're saying that it could be a solution and you're giving a process for testing it. And at the end of it, right or wrong, everybody has learned. This thing doesn't work, and here's why. But this thing here might work better because it solves some of these problems that the other hypothesis just did not solve. So I think just give yourself the permission to present a hypothesis and to test it. Forget about being wrong or forget about being right, but always try to make progress. And that's the thing that testing helps you to do. All right, let's move all the way along to number 4. And this one is critical. We just don't get enough practice speaking up to ourselves. This sounds strange, right? But you know how they say when you're going to give a speech and you may be nervous, what you need to do is to get in front of the mirror and practice. And that practice gives you the opportunity to see what your facial expressions are like, to see how well you can make a particular point, whether that point lands with you, and therefore would it land with your audience, whether you are awkward or comfortable, or how you speak, what words you don't say clearly, etc. But the point is, you practice. And like they say, practice makes perfect. It gives you the time to get in the reps and to do what we do best, critique ourselves. And in this case, it's a good opportunity to be able to critique yourself, because then you can start to tweak those things that are not working so well and that you can start to make work a little better. But sometimes we don't speak up enough because we just have not put in the practice with ourselves, just voicing our own opinions, our perspectives, our ideas and thoughts on certain things in our professional arena. And so then when we have to talk to peers or colleagues one-on-one or in a small group or in a large group, we freeze. So why not put in the practice with yourself? And if you want a structured way to do this, I do have an executive voice lab, which allows you to put in the reps over a 30-day period, day in, day out, with guided practice. And we start that in September with a cohort of just 4 people. You can sign up now to be on the wait list for Executive Voice Lab and start to put in your practice reps. Start to be able to voice your thoughts and your opinions day in, day out over 30 days. They say it takes 21 days to build a habit. Well, you get 30 in Executive Voice Lab. So sign up for the waitlist. Again, I'll leave the link in the show notes, in the YouTube description box, and in the first pinned comment on YouTube. All right, let's move on to number 5, which is this one I think many, many professionals encounter, and I certainly have. You don't speak up because it would break some kind of a confidentiality agreement, or it might break some code in your code of ethics, or maybe something that you agreed to not disclose. And you should not. You shouldn't break trust. You you obviously can be penalized for breaking confidentiality, but I mean, it is a beautiful rule of thumb for any professional to not break trust or confidentiality. However, what you can do is speak broadly to the lessons that you've learned. You can speak broadly to the trends that you've seen in certain types of work. And you can speak broadly to your experiences with working on certain types of projects or in certain types of areas. You can do all of that without breaking trust. It may take a little bit more thought on your part, but why not? Don't break the trust, but always offer the lessons, the expertise, and the perspective. And I can tell you that I've had a specific experience with this. There was a project that I worked on around brand development for an organization. And at the end of it, my client was extremely excited and she said, "This is excellent work." And of course, I wanted a testimonial because I wanted to put that on my website and I wanted to be able to talk about it and say what she said, because it's great to have that stamp of approval from somebody else who's experienced what you do. But she couldn't. Where she was, her position in her organization, she simply could not offer me a public testimonial. But what I could do was I could talk about the process that I implement in projects like these, and I could say that it has had excellent results. And so that's what you have to do. You don't break trust, but you design a way to talk about the work. So those are my 5 reasons why we don't speak up. I know number 5 is probably one that often we don't think about, but it is truly something that happens all the time in the work environment, especially when you are a consultant or someone else working with your clients or with patients. I mean, this happens a lot in the medical field or in the legal field. There's some things that you just can't say and you shouldn't. So if you have liked these 5 reasons, or if you want to add or you have any commentary on these, I would be so happy to hear what you have to say. One way to do that is to take the Workplace Voice and Visibility Survey. Give your own perspectives. It's just 4 questions, 3 minutes, totally anonymous. Check the link below in the show notes and the pinned comment on YouTube and take the survey. And remember as well, if you want to start that practice of speaking with authority to yourself first, sign up to be on the wait list for the Executive Voice Lab. All right, so that is it for today. If you've liked this episode, give it a thumbs up, give it a review on any of the podcast channels, and like, share, and comment. All of those things are free. Thank you so, so much for taking the time to engage with, listen to, watch this episode of the Island Woman podcast. I am your Island Woman, Dianne Squires, aka Dianne. And until next time, peace.